What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the video, and I hope everyone's having a great day. If you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Jai. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you want to. But much appreciation for tuning into the video. We are back with another true story, animated, and this is, apologies for the name, I know it's a different name. This is July 2020, 8 horror stories animated compilation. I might do 4 because this is about 40 minutes long, so 4 videos and 8 stories. Let's get it. Pizza delivery to Granny.
I'm a 28-year-old male, but when this happened, I was about 23. I worked at a mom and pop's pizza shop in a place in Northern California.
Oh, okay.
It's a small farm town and has a few suburbs near it. I kind of did everything since I knew the family. They trusted me with running things while they were gone. This night, though, I was working deliveries and got the weirdest one of my life. Everything seemed fine when I took the order. The lady ordered anchovies on her pizza, and I always think people who order that are weird as shit. She made a point to tell me the pizza had to be hot when it got there, or she wouldn't pay for it. So I get the pizza and throw it in the warmer, and drive to her house before any of my other deliveries. I'd like to tell you guys that our house was creepy and run down, but it looked like your average one-story new housing development home.
Okay, or no
I
more.
rang the doorbell and put on my fake-ass customer service smile. You all know what I'm talking about. And as soon as she opens the door, I knew this was going to be bad. The haggard old lady who looked like she was a smoker of 50-plus years looked me dead in the eyes and said, "It better be hot, or I'm not paying like I told you over the damn phone."
Oh.
Now, I understand, ma'am. I made sure to stop by your place first, even though it was last on my list. Bring it in and set it on the table. She said this.
No.
Now, I don't normally go inside customers' homes because I read too many stories on no sleep, and that's not me. But at this point, I'm just wanting to kill her with kindness and see where this will go.
She's gonna say, wait here while I get the money.
Problem.
Watch.
I also brought cheese and ranch for you if you need it. As soon as I opened the bag, she grabbed the box, and her hand was on the bottom of it, just rubbing it. "It's not hot enough. You fuckers do this every time, and I'm not paying for this shit. Not a single dime. One thing I have an issue with is my mouth. I don't know whether you should shut up and try to understand where people are coming from.
For 10 to 15 minutes.
Look, lady, your house is a 5-minute drive from our shop, and I stopped by your place first. There's no way your pizza is cold. If you refuse to pay, you're going to be 86th, and I'll notate it on your account." She immediately walked into her kitchen and came back out. She had an old pizza from a few weeks prior she had ordered from us, and threw it at me. "Take your fucking pizza and get out of my house. You're the devil."
Oh,
She yelled that at me and kept calling me Satan and the devil. Again, my mouth has no filter and I can't control it.
What you say, boy?
But I fail every time.
What you say?
As I'm closing the bag and laughing about how much I hate my job, I tell her, "All right, ma'am, you will not be able to order pizza from us again. I hope you have a good day, and God bless you and your house." She kept following me outside to my car, screaming about how I was the fucking devil. And there are families out there just watching this all go down. I get in my car and start driving. Once I'm back, I tell my manager what happened, and she told me that the lady had already called in and screamed to her about what had gone down. Her story was that I cussed her out and got her order wrong. My manager shut her down and said I'd never do anything like that.
Right.
And here's the weird part. She whispered into the phone to my manager and repeated, "Send him back. Send him back. Send him back." She called once a day for almost 3 months, just whispering this to whoever answered.
She's
She
a
started
witch.
driving by the restaurant.
She's a evil witch. And she's driving there?
Works here. You're all going to hell.
Girl.
Now, I wasn't scared. I was just pissed and wanted to retaliate. Because I can't tell you how many times she tried to follow me back to my apartment when I got off
You
work.
were tripping.
One night, I pulled over and got out just for her to stop her car on the road with her lights on, yelling, "The devil is here." After this, I jumped back in my car and sped off.
Man.
Luckily, after 6 months of dealing with this lady, I found out she was schizophrenic and bipolar and hadn't been on her meds. Her daughter put her in a care home, but when she was cleaning out her house, she saw that her mom had pictures of me all over her bedroom wall with the word, yep, you guessed it, devil, scrawled all over it. She found me and explained everything to me, and thankfully, that was the end of it all.
Look at me. Just because your piece ain't hot.
Junior year of high school.
Like how you want
Dad
it.
went out,
Don't get mad.
leaving me home alone. I had a lot of homework to do, so I spent the whole evening sitting
Is
at
this the
the
guy that
desk
do
in my
one
bedroom.
see?
My parents left the house around 6 p.m.
Yo, call a brother
I
up
was doing my homework.
if you ever need
I
another
put on my
narration.
headphones and I listened to loud music. There was a big storm that night, and my desk was facing a window,
Okay.
so I could see the rain and the lightning outside.
You saw somebody.
My parents got back around 11 p.m.
Okay.
When I saw their car drive up, I took off the headphones. As soon as my mom opened the front door and came inside, I heard her shout out my name. What on earth happened in here? She demanded in an angry voice, confused. I ran downstairs.
What?
My mom was standing in the hallway with a furious look on her face. She pointed at the floor and yelled, "Was this you?" I looked down and I saw that the carpet was covered in muddy
Somebody's
footprints.
in the house.
I have no idea how those got there, I said. I spent the whole night at my desk doing my homework. I watched as the look on her face change from anger to confusion, and then to fear. We both realized at the same time that someone else must have been in the house. We followed the trail of footprints,
Get a
trying
bag.
to make sense of the
Get a
whole
knife.
situation.
Get something.
They started at the back door, which we usually left unlocked. Then we noticed something else.
Why?
The footprints started at the back door, but there was no trail of footprints leaving through the back door.
You gotta lock every door.
All of a sudden, we hear something loud. A pounding noise that echoed throughout the house. Then the sound of the front door being wrenched open and slammed shut again. We all ran into the garage and locked the door behind us. My mom took out her cell phone and called the police.
Who is that?
She told them to come quickly as she shouted that someone's in our house. After what seemed like hours, a patrol car arrived with 2 police officers, a male and a female. One officer stayed with us in the garage, while his partner went through the house, searching room by room.
The female
When
was
she
the
came
same.
back, the female officer told us that there was no one in the house, and it was safe to go back in.
Are
And
you
we were all
sure?
breathing a high sigh of relief. She asked, "Whose bedroom is upstairs on the left?" My parents looked at me. "It's mine," I told the officer. She asked us to follow her. As we walked through the house, we could see the trail of muddy footprints leading from the back door through the living room, through the hallway, up
That's
the
lucky
stairs,
scared. That's lucky
to
scary to
my
experience
parents'
that.
bedroom, then towards my room. They stopped at my doorway. The female officer pointed at my door, which had been open the whole night. Scrawled on it in black marker was the following: 8:47. I see you. 8:53. You forgot to lock the back door. 8:59. You seemed focused. 9:24. Turn around. 9:47. Look at me. 10:15. Look at me. 10:37. Look at me. 10:49. Look at me. For more than 2 hours, someone had been standing in my doorway, watching me. To this
Oh
day,
my gosh, what if he
I
stepped
still
your
shudder to
neck
think
that
what
whole
would have happened
time?
if I had just turned around.
I mean, you had your headphones on. I mean, you gotta lock your door, bro. Lock your door, lock your door, lock your door.
When I was 16 years old, I was at a very low point in my life, and I ended up getting hospitalized for 4 months over the summer. The doctors were afraid that my heart would give out if I did so much as walk, so if I wanted to go anywhere, I had to call a nurse to take me in a wheelchair. My mum and dad visited me every day, not always together. Whenever my mum came alone, she would take me out in a wheelchair to the beach access behind the hospital, so I could get some fresh air and look at the lake. One day, my mum had come by to visit, and she took me out to the beach as usual. While we were waiting for the elevator down from the ward, a man stopped my mum and me. "Your daughter has such beautiful black hair."
Look at my
The
face.
way he said it gave me chills, kind of in a Buffalo Bill-esque, I want to
I love his
wear it
animation.
kind of way. My mum thanked him and chatted a bit, but I just looked the other way and ignored him.
Remind me
I
of
could feel his eyes on me though.
Brace Face. Remember that
We
show?
pile into the elevator, and as soon as the doors close, I feel something tugging at my hair. I glance over, and I realize that the guy is playing with my hair. I'm pretty creeped out,
Mom, you don't see this?
but I don't want to cause a scene just in case he has a mental disorder and can't help himself.
What the?
So I just leaned over as far as I could in my wheelchair, so that he couldn't reach me without alerting my mum. Anyway, we reach the
Mom
bottom,
just
get off, and my mum and I
ugly.
start wheeling over to the beach, while the guy just stands there by the
Ugly
elevator
mother.
and watches us go.
Get him out of here.
I told my mum what he did, and she said that she would make sure to do something if we ever saw him again.
Why's she smiling
After
like that?
that, we kept seeing him, always by the elevator. He'd make a comment about how beautiful my hair is, and my mum would nod politely. We'd get inside the elevator, and he'd try play with my hair, but my mum would move in the way so that he wouldn't be able to.
Is this real?
We'd
Like,
get off, and he'd just
if you
watch
feel
us roll out.
uncomfortable the first time,
This
you should have
happened
told
quite
somebody.
frequently. It was creepy, but we decided he was harmless. That was until about a month later.
So what? You never know
We
if he's
went down to the
harmless. You
beach
never
as
know with
usual,
these.
and this time
type
we
of
didn't
people
see
are
him at
capable
the
of
elevator, but we didn't think much of it. At some point, my mum had to use the restroom, and it was mutually decided I was old enough to take care of
And I'm
myself for
saying-
3 minutes. I was sitting in my wheelchair, looking out over at the lake and enjoying the sun, when I started getting pushed.
See,
Thinking it was my mum, I turned around to ask for
see,
5 more
look.
minutes,
Obviously,
but no, it wasn't
since he
my
think I'm
mum.
not gonna do nothing, I just let
It's the
him do
fucking guy.
whatever. He gonna.
He's pushing me towards
What
the
happened if
bushes,
you do something
and
worse?
the
What
look
you
on his
doing right
face
now?
is predatory. I scream, but the only other people out there are in the canoe in the water. They
Say
can't
help!
do a thing. So I make a decision. I decide if I'm going to die, I'd rather it be a heart failure than by distant hand. So I get up out of the wheelchair and I start sprinting towards the restrooms. I look behind me to see if he's following.
Why would your mom leave you alone in the first place?
He's just standing by the wheelchair, looking shocked. I guess he thought I was paralyzed. I make it back to my mum, run out of the toilet as soon as she heard me screaming.
Girl, you gotta be careful to pass out.
We both look back, and the guy is running away like there's a rocket up his arse.
A
My mum
rocket
carried
up
me
his
on her
ass.
back to the wheelchair, and then we rushed to inform the hospital staff.
I'll find you after 5 days.
They put a watch out, and for the next few months, there's security hanging around the elevator on my floor. But he never came back.
What in the world? See, I don't want to blame nobody but the mom. You tripping. You should leave your child alone. And you should have first tell somebody. about
Last
this
year,
thing.
I went to the dentist to get my upper left wisdom tooth removed. I thought they'd offer me general anesthesia, where I'd go to sleep and wake up and it would be done. But instead, I was told that I would have to have the twilight option, which is where you get the needle in the arm. You're a bit groggy, but unaware of your surroundings and not fully asleep. Now, I'm not totally sure why I had to have this option.
That's the
but it
same
was
thing
something
as
to
when you
do
wake
with
up
how
from anesthesia,
complicated the surgery
right?
was.
Yeah,
I figured as
'cause-
long as I didn't feel any pain, it wouldn't matter. And I wasn't nervous at all, as I didn't really read up on what was involved. But my friend Damon gave me a ride, and then he was going to swing by and pick me up after. They injected me, and I felt a little dizzy. They applied some gel to my mouth and lowered me into the chair. It was a strange sensation. I couldn't feel my hands or my feet. but I had an incredible itch on my nose. I wanted to say something, but realized then I couldn't say anything. It was absolute torture, real quick. The dental assistant pressed down hard on my tongue. The pressure really hurt. Then I felt a sharp stabbing pain into my gums. It was excruciating. She turned to the dentist and assured him that I wasn't feeling anything. But I was. I tried to speak. I tried to tell her that I was feeling every single time she stuck her instrument into my mouth. But I couldn't. I heard the sound of a drill and then a saw and then another needle, and I felt the jab into the interior of my cheeks as the dentist poked around. It was the worst pain I'd ever felt. And then there was this crunching sound. It was so loud. And the scraping as he literally ripped out my tooth. Now my nerves were so shot at this point, but as each time
what's your nerve? Your teeth nerve from your gum, or
a sharp
nerve
strike through my brain. And as he retracted his scalpel and the instrument that carried the tooth, it somehow slipped, and he dropped it. I felt it wedge in my throat. He didn't realize it at first.
What?
He was talking about his future vacation or something. My
you
tooth
idiot.
was in my throat, and I could feel myself choking on it. And yet there was nothing I could do. I tried blinking rapidly, but never saw a blink happen once. It was like my brain knew something that was happening, but my body and my brain were just disconnected.
This is crazy.
When the dental assistant asked for the tooth, the dentist joked that he might have dropped it. She looked around outside of my mouth, not even thinking that it was inside. I could feel my windpipe closing.
That is unprofessional.
And fluid building up. I felt like I was drowning. I was begging for help, begging for her to save me. She stuck a suction pipe into my throat and it cleared some of the clot. But I guess I somehow swallowed it. And I pushed my tooth further into my throat, jamming it in there. Now I was telling myself, breathe through your nose, breathe through your nose. But I just felt it getting hotter and hotter. It was like I was in an oven. And then she panicked. I heard them say that I was choking, at which point I could no longer breathe. I vaguely remember falling out of the chair and hitting the floor, and then being spun over and then just blacking out. When I came to, I learned the assistant had performed a tracheotomy on me. She had cut a hole in my throat so I'd have an airway to breathe.
What the
Have you ever seen one of those commercials where people have smoked for too long and have a hole in their neck? That's me now. The next time I have a toothache, I'm going to take a hammer and smash it out. It'll be less painful.
God Almighty.
I do admit this.
God Almighty. What is going on? This all could have been prevented if you just did the anesthesia, or whatever you call it. I was on that. It's just so crazy because you know anesthesia. As soon as they put that the air tube or whatever, just like that, you know, that's the last thing you remember. And it's so crazy. I would ask myself because my sister woke me up, and they told her I woke up, but she had to wait 30 minutes. But I'm just wondering. I don't remember those 30 minutes when I woke up or I should say conscious, I believe, is when the nurse was like, "Are you up? Are you up?" That's when I was conscious. I was like, I was just wondering, like, what happened during those 30 minutes. I'm just curious about that, but it's so crazy. All this would have prevented, and I was through every dime that the dentist got, because I was so unprofessional. Where's the boss? I'll sue them for every dime you got, every penny. And Mom, don't leave that alone. If something's up, if you feel uncomfortable, call somebody. And pizza, let it go. Let it go. If you want your pizza more hot, put it in the oven. And lock all your doors. That's all I'm saying. So thank you guys for listening to this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe to this channel. Be sure to give a thumbs up. Have the most awesome turkey day. And until next time, peace.